Dodge, followed by Paul Edelman and Marion Dodge. If you'd like to cede your time to someone else, then you can tell me who you'd like to cede your time to, and that person will have your minute to speak as well. Mr. Dodge, Mr. Edelman, and Mrs. Dodge. Welcome.
This is 2175 Stanley Hills Drive. I've been a resident almost my entire life of Stanley Hills. I'm going to read you a statement. The building fence, the fence around the property, the temporary fence. The building fence has been up for nearly a year. The neighbors did request a building fence, but a TIA received through Building of Engineering an encroachment to cut off Mary Road. The fence is cutting off the very wildlife corridor that he agreed to be protected, not only on his property, but on the paper street that is city property, that he is trying to slough off the corridor on. Yes, we requested a building fence around the perimeter of the property during building, but during building only and not on Marywood whatsoever. We even went into our private agreement that there would be no staging or parking on Marywood. So why is it still fenced in? If you are showing intention to comply with conditions, why wouldn't the fence come down as a measure of good faith? A number of neighbors had entered into the evidence that they're evidence of frustrated animals that have been cut off by this obstruction. The fence needs to be off Marywood now.
Mr. Dodge, you can turn in your statement if you'd like, if it's signed. Mr. Edelman?
Excuse me, for the record, Rob Luciano. There are three of the neighbors that would like to see their minute, Mr. Edelman.
Okay.
Giovanni Lawson, Lisa Wright, and Jean Eve, if that's okay.
What is the last one, Mr. Luciano?
The two,
Got that.
Wright and Lawson.
Thank you.
Mr. Grasham,
Thank you. So then you'll have the minutes.
President Commissioner, Paul Edelman, Deputy Director of Natural Resources and Planning for the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy. We call your attention to this 11 by 17 package that I sent out to you. I was preparing to talk for 1 minute. Here we go before. We don't, as an agency, we don't pick and choose which battles we fight wildlife corridors, and this was one that we said had to be fought and put in a letter for a 20-foot corridor that would be very innocuous and would connect some key habitat areas in Laurel Canyon. None of the wildlife corridors as you get into the eastern area are perfect. And what I think all the applicants' testimony about some of the deficiencies in this corridor militate towards the importance of doing everything we can as a public entity to make the corridor on that side of Stanley Hills Road work. It's sort of the strategy of saying that if the artery is already 90% blocked, why did the other side of the road be 90% blocked? It's the opposite. There should be as much passage as possible. So what we put before you on, later on in this package and was submitted earlier was a compromise corridor. It's hard to estimate on a wildlife corridor how it will function. There's so many variables. There are feature conditions to deal with. There are cultural conditions, physical conditions, light, use, and it's all the basis of the sum of its parts. So what we put together over the course of this time has been whittling it down, trying to get compromise with the applicants, and come up with this corridor where we're down to almost nothing in Stanley Hills Road, compromising and willing to give up more at this hearing. The key thing though is as you get to this particular picture, which is about 71 feet in from the road, then you have a big 30-foot house looming over the wildlife corridor. And then there's a picture right after that too, that shows a steep drop-off where Marywood would be. So that pinch point militates the need for a 15-foot wide corridor with a 30-foot building all combined. It says the sum of its parts, and this is the weak link. And as we keep chopping away at the lower part, we need to start to take care of the links in the chain farther up the hill. It's the key corner requesting that the house be moved back 15 feet there and a little foot for the garage, and that should do it. Even with the street vacation, because of the bad topography and the fact that there are already encroachments from the other owner into Marywood, that corner would not work even with the street vacation. So to feel that to go along the tap that the street vacation is going to solve everything if you figure with a house with 150 feet of frontage, 3 houses, an MND, that we'd at least be able to squeeze something in for the animals to get from these 2 habitat areas. We're comfortable with what Mr. Bouchon said about taking less land from about 35 feet from Stanley Hills Drive, moving up to this 15-foot pinch point, new point, down to accommodate the driveway. And then this is a novel idea to actually have the driveway within a conservation easement that will allow free flow of animals across the pavement. And this all works because at the base of Stanley Hills, there's more openness there. You only have houses that are up 30 feet with lights, and a carport, and all the little retaining walls and things that you really don't have before you today to make a decision where 2 feet of this corridor and that is going to work. We really do need, I think we owe it as public servants to create a corridor that will work in perpetuity, and do the trick we needed to, because the wildlife in the Santa Monica Mountains benefit everybody. They're critical for the populations of Ripley Park, and this is just one little step that we can use to take care of that issue. Thank you.
Before you, I have Commissioner Escobar, I have a question for you. The driveway, is there some construction or permeable material that in your experience would work that doesn't scare the animals off, or that looks like material that would be similar to something in natural habitat that would also double as a
It's
driveway?
such a short distance, and there's dirt nearby, and the building is at least 20 feet away, or a little less than 20 feet. That will work, it's okay. In other words, it's for short distances, if the openness criteria works, and the lighting isn't too bad, and that's acceptable. I don't think we need to get into permeable pavement, grass-free, anything of that nature. Great if you can go there and we can accomplish that.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Thacker. Mary Dodge?
Good evening. I'm Mary Dodge, from 648 North Commonwealth Avenue. I'm president of Hillside Federation, which represents 34 homeowners associations spanning the San Juan Mountains. The Federation supports the appeal of the Stanley Hills residents. And the Federation supports the conservation easement just now proposed by Paul Evelyn and the San Juan Mountains Conservancy to preserve the wildlife corridor that exists in the area. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The following three are Derek James, Wallace Diskin, and Phyllis Rothschild.
Philip Rothschild, this is minutes to Peter Wilson.
Thank you.
Wallace has been 2247 Stanley Hills Drive. I'm following up on Mr. Evans' speech just now. Everyone has been to the land and understands that this is a steep terrain. Everyone not is except for Ms. White. She submitted this last hearing. The scientific evidence was that Mr. Kia told me that you can see, quote unquote, you can see on my land lots of animal prints and hooves from the animals. He's right, this is the wildlife corridor. It is not just a nice playground. This is a migratory trail for deer, the coyote and the bobcat come through, and whatever else animals come through. This is a request that the buildings not create an obstruction. There are a few migratory cars, and this is the very last one on Stanley Hills Drive. We would ask also not to be waived by the donation register.
Thank you.
My name is Derek James. I live at 2311 Stanley Hills, which on this packet right here is actually the lot that's labeled 75 full wildlife clearing, and it's the only house on the west side of Stanley Hills that doesn't have a fence in the back and in the front, and is the main flow of the wildlife corridor on the west side. And since this fence has gone, I live there, and since this fence has gone up, I mean, without a doubt, I see it happening that animals go across the street and turn around and come back through my property. And so, for the film to say that like the wildlife corridor is currently working with the fence up is completely false, and I don't think anyone would know better than the residents of Standing Hills who are actually there. And if this is the tip of the iceberg for what's to come, I mean, it's pretty terrible for the neighborhood, I think. That's why I support the Conservancy.
Thank you very much. Peter Lawson, Brian Ades, I believe, and Wade Wilbur. Mr. Lawson, you have about 2 minutes.
Good evening, members of the commission. My name